Do we have 1,000 subscribers yet?
Not quite. We're at 950 something.
We're
Just
almost there.
YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
gonna do it. People love these episodes.
Maybe.
And
Maybe.
everyone make a second email address for a second YouTube account and subscribe again.
Woo! Do it.
Woo. All
Breaking the
right, should
law.
we
It's not breaking
begin?
the law. Yes, we should begin.
All right. All right.
Is that everything?
Let's do it. I'm waiting
Coffee?
for
Yeah.
it's just BC Scrubs. Waiting for the boom.
And
He's usually here for it.
and Raffers.
Yeah. Reed Reads, Raph, Mega Bread, Marvel Man, Yansum,
Janssen's not there
BC
now.
Scrubs. No,
No.
they'll be here. They'll be here. It's a different day. Maybe threw them off.
Well, I
Should we
didn't
drop
give a whole lot of notice. Le Boom?
the boom? Yeah, let's do it. Let's drop the boom and get into this.
Yeah, all right,
Been waiting for
mama.
this one. Here we go. Put an accent on it. All right. 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. That was for Reed Reads. Boom. Welcome back, everybody, to the Omniverse Comics Guide podcast. We are your Omniverse Comics Guide guys. I'm Eric. That's my pal Dave. Dave,
Hello.
how the hell are ya?
Well, not only am I hell, dude, but I've been playing with this little bot here. This is one of my kids' Transformers, but they all turn. There's a random series they did, but they all turn into like household objects you can get from a mall. I believe that's the international term. But look at him there. Look, he's perfectly
From a
fine,
mall.
isn't he? But then Lex was
like a
trying to
bot.
transform him, and his armor came off, and I'm a bit concerned.
That's a very interesting transformer.
Yeah.
Bot.
Corn on the knob. I don't know what he's I don't know what he's actually called, but I thought, you know what? Let's keep him just in robot mode, and he turns
Yeah,
into
let's do that.
innocuous
Keep the armor on.
corn on the cob. Look at that. Not remotely.
All right. I like it.
There's no safe
Interesting
mode.
toys you get your kids.
What's the age on
Learning
that?
your food groups. Learning your food groups. And your bots.
With your bots.
Um,
How about yourself, dude? What you been reading?
well, in the pre-taping of the show, we were talking about Dr. Fate from JMD, Keith Giffen, and Sean McManus, which has been very interesting and a lot of fun. I love that they are putting together, like this year's been a really good year for fans like myself of J.M. DeMatteis, because they're putting out a bunch of his collections that either haven't been collected before or have been off of the shelf for a little bit. So this one was on our list for our previous episode of this title. So I'm excited to see what we talk about today, what might be on the episode. But before we get into that, I got to handle business.
Oh,
Everybody
can we
who's
look
with
away?
us on Twitch, everybody who's watching with us on Twitch, we appreciate you tuning in with us and chilling out live with us. We appreciate it all the time. Those who are watching on YouTube, hit that rate and subscribe button. We appreciate you there as well. And if you're listening on any podcast platform, give us a thumbs up, a subscribe, a comment. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Share it. It helps. And of course, most importantly, omniversecomics.guide. Let me say it one more time. omniversecomics.guide for your reading orders, your podcast, your collector item specials, and your interviews with creators. We've just had one with Ron Friends. It was a lot of fun. Just recently posted. Check it out. omniversecomics.guide. That's right. .guide.
That
Let 'em know.
guy.
Reed Reads is giving us the affirmation. DC Omnis, most wanted. Omnis and compendiums.
Actually, dude, one second.
Yes.
Can I just confirm if everyone is are Eric's lips syncing to his words? Because I don't know if there's a delay. And the only
Am I
reason
lip syncing?
it looks like you're like you're in a old school Japanese film.
They went that way. Say something, Eric. I'm talking. They went that way. Am I back?
Don't know. Do it properly.
Okay. I'm reading Dr. Fate from J.M. DeMatteis, published by DC Comics. Am I good? Boom. BC Scrubs is here. I said
Oh,
something.
hello. All good.
Hello,
All
BC.
good. It's just
All good.
me. It's
All
just me.
right,
It's
we're
just
good.
I just make a joke because otherwise I've got to fix it in the edit, and I really can't be bothered.
Bollocks, Dave. Bollocks.
Bollocks.
All right.
Apologies.
No, no. Let's continue. Um, Most wanted DC Omnis and Compendiums. DC, I feel, has done a very good job at putting together compendiums and putting out omnis that have been like, why haven't they made this yet? Like they're
Yeah,
starting to get around to doing some cool stuff. Do you think their compendiums are?
I think
I think
to a degree it's almost too good because it's quite hard to keep up at this point. It's almost like they're
y-
playing catch up, and I'm kind of having to be very careful, uh,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is a bit of a shame.
100%.
But I don't want to complain because we're getting the stuff we've been looking for all this time.
Yeah, yeah. For fans abroad, like if there's something that you've liked before that's never been reprinted or hard to collect, they're getting around to it. And if you can't afford it all, it's okay because they're going to make the thing that you really want at some point. It seems like.
Yeah,
So, save your money and be judicious with what it is you're buying because even making this list, I'm like, well, they made that.
yeah.
That's coming out.
It's a little
That's
tough, isn't it? Like,
it
what's
was
left that's of note?
which makes it interesting.
Oh
But I
yeah.
will say
Oh,
there's a
still
couple that
choices.
I went back on the list of our previous times where I'm like, well, that hasn't happened yet, and I really want that one. So
Okay.
if we keep repeating one or two, it might
Just
happen.
make all
It
five that one you really want. Just make all five Man of Steel, dude.
it might. I just might do it. All right. Whose turn is it this time?
Sorry, my light's in a weird place. Um, I think it's me.
Take it away.
Okay.
I'm
So
interested. I'm.
I've got a theme tonight.
Ooh.
Huh?
I
Huh? You
like
like that? You
themes.
like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I like it. I like it a
So
lot.
my theme is I'm going to pick something from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
I love it. What a great idea. I should have thought of that.
'Cause there's so much to choose from still, you know. But
It
I thought
makes it a
like I
lot
could make
easier
it
to.
all 80s, or I could make it. So I thought like, no, think about what you did. So there should be a nice little variety, but it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little on the left field, but go with it.
I bet with your 70s and Bronze Age stuff that you like, you weirdo. All right, do it. Let's
Weirdo
take
is
it away.
accurate. So my first choice tonight is Unknown Soldier. So I'm not really a war comics kind of guy, but there's what is it not on your? It's
I
on your
love.
list.
How did you know that I've always wanted Unknown Soldier,
Are you
the
for
one from the
real?
60s?
All of it. Is it on your list?
No, I'm just the way you said it's left field. So bear with me. As soon as you said Unknown Soldier, I'm like, yeah, it's left field.
Oh, is that okay? But I
Yeah.
do want
No,
it.
no, you didn't steal
So
it. Yeah, no, go for it.
I'm not a war comics kind of guy, really. I can't be bothered. They all just seem a bit the same to me a lot of the time.
Hmm.
But this one, I don't know what it is about it. It feels a bit like a superhero vibe because it's got the masked element and you don't know who he actually is because he's unknown, isn't he? So this originally created by Rob Kanigher and Joe Kubert. There was a character who appeared as the Unknown Soldier in I've written it down. Our Army at War number 168, and he only appeared once and he dies. Spoiler alert. But then they kind of brought the character back in Star Spangled War Stories, and then a few issues in, like 7 issues in, they retell the ending of that other story so that he survived. So it's the same character. And then that ran through the 60s for quite some time. So there's going to have to be a series of Omnis. So I'm not necessarily as fussed about the 60s era stuff, but I'm going to want a complete collection. And the book that would come after that would be the Unknown Soldier title onwards. So for volume 1, it would be Our Army at War number 168, Star Spangled War Stories 151 to 204. And then volume 2 would be 205, which is the Unknown Soldier, because Star Spangled War Stories changed title to Unknown Soldier from that point on. They could go up from there. And then I'd really, really like if they could do the Vertigo era stuff as well.
Hmm.
Because I think some of that was by Garth Ennis.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So that's quite an intro. That was, yeah, it was DC Vertigo. Garth Ennis, I think there was a 4-issue miniseries at least. But yeah, there's always been something that's kind of fascinated me about this character, and I don't know much, I don't know enough, and I want it collected so I can find out more. So that's my slightly left field first choice for tonight.
Nice. Always can count on you for that stuff that I would have never imagined that I might want.
Huh.
There you go. The magic of Dave. Okay.
I'm your genie. Rub me hard.
Uh, so this is I'm not sure with my first pick. It's something that I have been thinking about, but I actually looked up today what it would collect, and I imagine I don't even want to know. I want to imagine what was said to you in the chat. I imagine that this is going to be made at some point with the other things that have been compendiumed and omnified, if you will. This just seems like a kind of an obvious pick for DC as far as the creator is concerned, the character, and that is Power of Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
Issues 1 to 47, as well as the 100-page graphic novel written by Jerry Ordway. So it came out in this hardcover, which I invested in because it was book one.
Yeah.
And they were 12 issues through 400-page. The first volume was 400 pages. The second volume, they released it in soft cover. Why would you do that?
I don't know
Because there
why
isn't
anyone
a
would do
soft
that.
cover. There's no soft cover option for the first volume for you to transition to your collection. Now, some people might say, "Who cares?" Once upon a time, I didn't. Now it really bothers me.
Yeah.
So
It bothers me.
I feel that now this particular era of the Power of Shazam is what the title of the series was called. 1 to 47, all written by Jerry Ordway.
Yeah.
He does some art throughout it. The artist is Peter Krause,
Yes.
which I don't know him from many other things, but he's a consistent collaborator throughout this series as well. I just don't know why they haven't done this yet, especially having put out 2 movies. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Captain Marvel issue, because this is Captain Marvel, not Shazam as he's known today.
In the interiors, yeah.
Yeah. So when he says Shazam to become Captain Marvel, I don't know if there's an issue with that,
If
but
they produce those, there's no issue with it.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So let's get on with it. Let's put out this compendium. Jerry Ordway's a seasoned veteran at both art and writing. He's had a long, extended time on Superman. This was his 47-issue run of Power of Shazam, and it's probably the most complete, I guess, run of this character, because they've attempted to do relaunches and different takes on, the Marvel family and whatnot, and
Yeah.
they're okay.
Well,
But 47 issues. Let's see what it was about.
interestingly enough, when they first brought Captain Marvel into the DC universe properly after Crisis, check out our Crisis Infinite Earths reading order for more on
Nice
the
plug.
other event. Thank you.
Omniverse Comics.
Nice plug. I didn't think you'd be able to see it from there. But yeah, when they first introduced him, it was in a 4-issue miniseries by Roy Thomas. But that
Right.
was then kind of considered out of continuity almost immediately. And then they did, a couple of years later, they did that graphic novel, which kind of then defined his origin for the DCU. Yeah. And then we got this series. It did end up being cancelled. I don't know if it's kind of incomplete feeling by the end or not. I don't think it is, but there are some crossovers in there as well. There's a Starman crossover, and you've got your DC 1 million stuff as well. So it'd be a nice. I think they could do that in one book.
Yeah, that definitely could make a compendium with some of the other stuff they've decided to make compendiums out of, which is great. But this is a pretty key character amongst the toys in the toy bin of DC Comics, right?
Oh,
this is
definitely
a pretty cool one. So, and there's enough interest that you made 2 movies. Not saying they were the best or the most successful, but you could put out a compendium for this, and people would be like, "Yeah, that's Shazam."
You tell them it's done in
I'll
one,
read that.
more chance for people picking it up.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm hoping comes into print sometime soon.
Excellent choice.
We could do it, guys. We could do it.
We could do it. Gotta believe. I gotta do
Gotta
what?
believe.
I gotta believe. Sorry, anyone who was a fan of Parappa the Rapper will get that reference. No one. That's no one. Okay, my second choice tonight is from the 1970s, the Bronze Age DC, and it's OMAC. So the character was created by Jack Kirby. OMAC stands for One Man Army Corps. It's a kind of robot dude with a mohawk who can fight real well. Like, I still haven't read the original series, but there's always been something about... I was going to wear my OMAC shirt tonight for this reason. There's always been something about this that's really appealed to me. I've read the DC Comics Presents number 61 issue where he teams up with Superman, which was really cool. I think that was drawn by George Perez. But if they collected the OMAC 8-issue miniseries, DC Comics Presents 61, Commandy 49 to 50 and 59, and the backup stories from Warlord 37 to 39 and 42 to 47. And do you know what? Do you know what they could do? They could chuck in that John Byrne 4-issue miniseries from the early 90s as well, which kind of redefined his origin after Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'd be a happy little camper.
Nice. OMAC. Bronze Age.
Yeah.
I don't know why you haven't gotten a job yet as a, what do they call them?
Huge nerd? A mapper. Oh.
A mapper.
Oh,
your favorite word. Oh, because
I think the term is prick.
Well, the reading orders that you put together for these omnis and compendiums that don't exist, I'm pretty sure are done in a way that these companies would appreciate. Hey, that's a good idea to do it like that. But maybe they know they have someone who tells them already, but
maybe
whatever.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Or maybe they can just go on omniversecomics.guide and read it for free and not have to pay someone.
Dave, I'm trying to get you a job here, dude.
Oh, sorry, man.
Work with me.
Sorry.
All right. My second one, I don't, the way it's going, this might be something that I steal from you.
Oh.
I'm going into the 80s. 1983. Do you have anything from 83?
Oh, maybe.
Ooh. Should I leave it for you?
No, tell me.
I don't want to steal from you.
I'll sort a backup if it is the same. I can sort one really quickly.
All right.
I think.
I don't know anything about this book. Completely blind.
It's so
37 issues?
No.
Is this the one?
No.
Okay. This is 37 issues. I'm not sure if it ended with the story finishing it off, like it ended with an ending, but it's Omega Men.
Ah, oh, of course.
Omega Men 1983. I think it had a different, what did they call it? Trade stock. It was kind of like the way.
Oh, I think it was like the Baxter stock paper. So it was direct market.
Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, exactly. It had that sort of printing to it. It started with, I think, Roger Stilfer as the writer, and Keith Giffen originally on for pencils. And then it was Todd. Let me look here. I'm looking at my list to make sure that Todd Smith later on takes over the pencils, and it's Roger. My eyes are going.
Sean McManus does some of the art later on as well. Yeah.
Roger Slifer. It looks like silver, but it's
Slifer.
Slifer, maybe. Yes, that's better.
Oh, like
that's
I'm the expert on how to pronounce people's names.
We're gonna go with yours. So
first,
this was. I remember it being listed as coming out. Like it was solicited a couple years ago, and I think I pre-ordered it, and it never came to fruition. For whatever reason, I'm not sure if it had something to do with the pandemic and things being put on hold or whatever the case might have been. But it was supposed to come out a few years ago, and I was looking forward to it just because I had liked the Omega Men that Tom King had written, the 12-issue series. The premise of like the setting and the cosmic of all of it. I don't know if this series is similar in any way to that, but it's also like the place where Lobo was introduced. So there's some key moments in this series that it would have been cool to kind of like read this little odd pocket of DC history. So Omega Men, 1983 series, 37 issues, may or may not have finished or may have been canceled.
I think it was cancelled.
I don't know
I've
if
read
they
towards the end.
Oh, you
thing,
have read
I
this?
have read some of it. I'm going to go back and read the beginning because there are crossover elements. But I've read some of the
Okay.
latter stuff because it ties into Crisis. But it's an era where DC are really unforgiving and don't do recap pages.
Oh, wow.
So I'm reading it going, I don't know who anyone is at this point. So I think if you're reading it from the beginning, it probably makes more sense. But I was literally reading it going, and I'm having to just research it and try and find reference. It was a tricky one, but
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things where I wasn't there for the beginning, so I'm going to go back and check. But they could include some of the earlier appearances as well from Green Lantern, because they do appear in Green Lantern a few times first.
Yeah, and I think with 37 issues, there's
There's room,
space to there's room for a compendium size where you get, a 40 issue, 45 issue count
easy.
and get a good chunk of original Omega Men.
Oh
I like
yeah,
that.
I like a chunky Omega Man. Did
There you
that
go.
come out wrong?
That's my yeah, a little bit, but it's you. Got all kinds of stuff in you that need to come out.
Probably, yeah. That's why I see that irrigator. So my number 3 tonight is a 1980s choice, and it's one that would have made more sense to release maybe 2 years ago, but there's no reason why they can't release it like now. It's Vigilante by Marv Wolfman, most of the art's by Paul Kupperberg. The character initially appears in New Teen Titans, so they could include in this one New Teen Titans 23, 26 to 30, 33 to 34, and 42, which kind of happens a bit later. New Teen Titans Annual 2. Vigilante's in a 50-issue series, and you've got Annual 1 and 2, and you've got an appearance by a third Vigilante in DC Comics Presents 92, because it seems like the identity's dropped and picked up at various times during the series. There's almost a little bit of a fool killer element to Vigilante, but even though the costume looks ridiculous, there's something that always appealed to me about it. If you haven't seen the cover of Vigilante Annual Number 2 by Brian Bolland, it looks silly but cool, and I've been fascinated by that cover for years, and I always went through Vigilante because of it. But it's almost like it's like somewhere between Fool Killer and Punisher, I think. So he is literally a vigilante, but he's a judge, or I don't know if he's initially a lawyer or someone higher up than that, but I think eventually in the issues I've read that tied into Crisis, he was a judge. So
Kind of like a Judge Dredd character?
no, he's
Would
an
he be?
actual judge in the
Oh, okay.
courts. Yeah, in the laws
Gotcha.
and the orders. But then he's trying to juggle with this multiple personality, as they called it at the time, problem where he would then kill criminals by night as a vigilante. So, of course, now he's a bit more famous in a very different way, because he's not a lawyer or judge or whatever in the Peacemaker TV series. And it's a bit more of a comedic character. So it's not really the original Vigilante at all. It's not really based on that. It's just got the name and a bit of the look. But I've always been a bit of a fan of the Punisher. I like that kind of thing. It's a bit weird to go like, I'm going to wear a costume, but I'm also just going to kind of kill people randomly and somehow get away with it in a universe of costume people. So yeah, a bit of a strange one. Marv Wolfman. The more I read of Marv Wolfman, the less sure I am. Very strange. I think if he's paired with the right person, George Perez, it works. If he's not, it's very odd stuff, strange choices. But still, I would gladly take a two-volume compendium or omnibus set. Do you have a preference, by the way, for omnis or compendii?
I think it might depend on what's being collected.
Yeah,
Is that weird?
yeah, no, that makes sense, because it might be that because they're cheaper normally for the compendiums, aren't they? And you might go, I'd buy that as a compendium, but I wouldn't shell out for an omnibus. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that
or am I
there,
putting
yeah,
words in your mouth, mate?
no, that's pretty close to it. There's certain things that I would give a chance to because it's in a compendium format that I might not otherwise want to invest in.
Yeah,
And it's weird. Like I think that to a degree, I think certain formats suit certain. It's like not everything can be an absolute. Like not everything is designed to be read that way.
no,
Not to say that they intend to, but you can kind of read a story the first time and say, yeah, when that gets into Absolute, like, oh my goodness. I don't think of the Chuck Dixon Nightwing run as something that needs to be hard covered and deluxe as the biggest page in the world, but I do like the idea of it being in a compendium to read that whole series,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I think it's a good way even to collect eras that crisscross into where there's a number of titles that it's hard to map them. But yeah, like I think
Sorry.
it's cool to see the Robin series in a
Yeah.
compendium.
Yeah.
That makes
If
sense,
that was an omnibus,
right?
I wouldn't bother.
And I'm
Honestly.
not sure how many people would.
There's
And
always
that,
someone. There's always someone. I mean, one of the things that rereads has just said, omnibus for me is something I love, and it's kind of the approach that they have for the absolute format. If you really love it, you might absolute it, but
that's
otherwise you might just deluxe edition it.
yeah, yeah. And there's even things that I personally love where, like, had they done the triangle era of Superman and compendiums, I'd be like, that's a good idea. That's a way
Yeah,
to do it that is affordable and people want to read it. Like, that's stuff that people want to bring with them and flip through it again because that's what those comics were.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's sort of no. That makes a lot of sense to me. Although Omega Press says the art is the clincher for me, I'll go compendium every time unless the art is the major selling points. Obviously, it's bigger. So if you've got crap art, you don't want it to be any bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, like, it all depends on what's being collected. Like, there's certain stuff where the what it is they're collecting, how they're collecting it, yeah, that's a cool omnibus. Like, Infinity Gauntlet is a cool
Yeah,
omnibus,
yeah.
right? You don't make that a compendium. You got to make that a
Gotta make it.
hardcover,
Yeah, too right.
right?
Too right,
So,
mate.
time for commercial break?
Yeah, let's do a break.
Let's do it.
Doing it slightly differently tonight. All right, so 2 top 5. So hang in. I'll try and keep them.
All right,
I'll
I'm
keep them
hanging.
to the
I'm
point.
holding on.
Hold on, hang on, grab on, strap on. Whatever you need to do, do it now. So tonight we're going to look at what's old to the Omniverse with some DC reading orders. For DC Comics events, our top 5 is number 5, dive into the prequel to Shadow War with our Lazarus Tournament crossover. Bit of a random one, that one. Number 4, 2024's Beast World crossover with the Titans. Number 3, sorry, I had to swallow. Reminds me of when I was an altar boy. At number 3, DC vs. Marvel breaks down the 1996 event, including all the amalgam tie-ins from that year. At number 2, City of Bane sees another Fall of the Batman in 2019. And our number 1 DC event crossover thingy reading order guidiness is the Superman event from 2021, the Warworld Saga, still topping it above everything else. Now,
Nice.
top 5 DC character reading orders are number 5, the complete Creature Commandos reading order covering their 1980s debut up to the present. Number 4, you can jump forward to the New 52 era with our Wonder Woman reading order covering 2011 to 2016.
Good stuff.
At 3, the Marvel vs. DC Comics reading order, which includes every event from 1976 upwards, which means I'm going to have to update that soon after the recent news. At number 2, head back to the beginning for Batman with the Origins Part 1 reading order covering Year 1 to the Long Halloween. And at number 1, surprisingly, The Authority, holding the line at number 1 and have been for a while with their Wildstorm Years reading order covering 1999 to 2011.
Already staying in charge. I like it.
Shocker!
Nice. Check out those reading orders. They are second to none.
Second to some of the other reading order sites.
Not even close. Back to the countdown.
Let's do it.
All right. So recently, I received my first. It's not the first collection from this era, but it was labeled a Rebirth Omnibus.
Okay.
So that was the Nightwing Rebirth Omnibus.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see which other Rebirth titles they're going to put out in that format. The one that I would really want, and I might have mentioned this before, is Dan Abnett's Aquaman.
Ooh.
I just want the Dan Abnett stuff. I don't need whatever comes after it. I want the Rebirth era issues, I think 1 to 42. There's a variety of artists, but I enjoyed the art throughout what I've read. I think I read up to issue 26 or 30.
Uh-huh.
And I was collecting them in trade, and I said, when this is done, I'm going to collect the whole thing. Like I'm invested in. I still haven't gotten rid of my trades yet because if I ever do get the urge to read them again or have a need to read them, they're there until it comes out in an omnibus, which I think it will, because this is really good stuff. Dan Abnett's a great writer. There's most things that I've read from him, I always remember enjoying quite a bit, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
Have you read any of this stuff?
A chunk of it. So I've read the bit from the end of the New 52 series, which leads into the Rebirth stuff, because Dan Abnett jumped on a little early. And I've read the first 2 or 3 storylines, but then I thought, I've got a weird feeling they're going to release this as an omnibus, so I'm just going to wait, and I'm still waiting. I think there are some crossover bits as well. But yeah, I think he leaves partway through the Rebirth series, like you said. But yeah, I've been waiting for them to do this for a while, and I keep thinking it's just going to happen. It's any day now.
Any day now. I mean, with the night, I'll get into it later, perhaps in the year, in regards to the Nightwing omnibus, because it was released this year. I enjoyed the way that was collected, and I'm hoping that if they do the Aquaman, it'll be as complete.
Yeah.
Pardon me. And I might not. It may not be relevant if I bring this up again later, but the Nightwing omnibus actually collects more than what's listed.
Does it?
Yeah, quite a bit more. It's very complete. So I'm hoping that these Rebirth, I say all of that about Nightwing, not because it's my choice, but it's because if they make it as complete as they did with that one, do that with Aquaman, we're going to get some nice collections. Not that they're all the greatest thing of all time, but they are a good slice of that era if you want to read it. And there's quite Aquaman was quite strong. No, I just sat up a bit because I'm used to hunching too much. Oh, no, they're not there. I thought they were on my shelf. But yeah, that's they're doing Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
right.
Although I thought they'd mix those together. I thought they'd do Green Lanterns and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps all together because they both come out at the same time, and they've. Yeah,
I don't know if they necessarily cross over all the time.
I
like
think
the
they
Hal
do
Jordan
towards the end. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah, but I think they're putting out like volumes of it, so there's going to be more with that collection. But I think with this Aquaman, you could do one volume, give us a good 50 issues, and it's all there. And the Nightwing book is like over 50 issues.
Is it really? You're gonna have to tell me after this what's in there, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they did a good job with that collection.
Another organ. I'll sell the useless one.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll let you decide what that is.
So Aquaman, Dan Abnett, Rebirth.
Excellent choice.
Rebirth. Thank you.
I'm very muchly behind you there. So watch out.
Thank you. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's gotta happen.
It's got to.
Okay. My number 4. I couldn't count there. My number 4, my 90s choice. I'm going for an event. Now, there's a fair chance this will actually end up being released as a DC Finest multi-chapter volume thing, because they're doing a lot of that at the moment. So I think they've started doing Zero Hour and Crisis on the Infinite Need of the Earth. There's a couple of those done in multiple volumes. So they are doing it. They're doing events-themed stuff because that's probably the best way you can do it for DC Finest. It means I don't think Marvel have taken that approach as such. They're still sticking to the characters. Or they're trying to go...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. So they're interesting ways that they are putting their stuff together, but quite complete. Like, I like they're doing it in a way where you're getting good value.
Yeah. But yeah, DC's approach is to do it as specific event volumes. So my choice is Underworld Unleashed, the 1995 Mark Waid and Howard Porter crossover. I skipped it while I was doing my read through. I read a couple of issues and went, nah, because I kind of wanted to get through that mid-90s bit, because it was a bit of a mix in there. You can tell there's some good stuff. It wasn't essential, but ever since skipping it, I've regretted it because I do want to go back and read it. So I think it revolves around Neron, the Hell Lord. He's basically their version of Satan himself. He offers powers or various different things to members of the DC universe, predominantly the villains. He does also offer things like reviving Jason Todd back to Batman. So he's bounding around offering stuff out to people. Like he's king of the world or king of the underworld. And some take his offer up and some don't. So you'll get some character changes. Like, for example, some villains will power up. Like Killer Moth was a bloke dressed a bit like a moth. Yay, scary villain. But by the end of it, he looks like a monstrous moth creature. And he changes his name. And off the top of my head, I can't think what he changed his name to. But he looks way scarier and he's a bit more freaky. So you do get some changes. Some of the characters. I think Black Manta goes through a change which maybe wasn't as popular. So he almost becomes like a part Manta man thing. So some of it's a bit... But hey, it's fun, silliness, 90s, weirdness. So it came out just after Onslaught. So Marvel were doing stuff over there. And I think to a large degree, Marvel were getting it together again after a bit of a difficult time. I know that they were approaching their bankruptcy, but the art was getting stronger and the storylines were tightening up a little bit. And this was hopefully DC's period of doing the same. Those two companies had so many titles out and not enough talent. So that's why some of the art's quite scrappy on some of the books. So it's not all going to be gold. But I want to read this event because I love villain-centric events. I love it when you get so many bad guys involved and maybe you power some up or you switch out who they're fighting and all that kind of stuff like Acts of Vengeance and Forever Evil, those kind of events. And this is one of those and I want to give it a shot. And that's my choice for number 4.
Nice.
Have you
I
read
like
it?
that. An event. No, I have not read it. I remember seeing the banner on top of comics and all the crossovers and stuff like that. But it was one of those things where I'm just like, I don't get what this is about. I remember the same thing for Bloodlines.
Oh, yeah.
Having that, and I didn't understand.
Yeah,
so
I've read some of that, but I will read
So,
the
yeah,
whole
it would
thing
help.
for a reading order.
at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's got to put it out there.
I guess
Dave, do
so.
Bloodlines.
All right. Looking forward to
Okay.
that.
My number 4. I don't know if I've mentioned this one before as well. I own these books, but I don't know why they haven't made it an omnibus. They went all in to do 3 hardcovers. It's a 1980 series, Batman and the Outsiders. I have all 3. It's Mike W. Barr with Jim Aparo on art and Alan Davis later on the artwork.
Cool.
So just off of the creator teams,
Yeah.
it'd be cool to own. It is a comic book of its time. I love it. I actually enjoy the Batman pre-crisis as well as Batman post-crisis, but I enjoy Batman, seeing him in the old school costume with the the blue cowl and cape, and I appreciate that era of Batman.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
So this series doesn't have that it says it would have, on the first volume, it doesn't have the issue that leads into Batman and the Outsiders Volume 1,
Uh-huh.
but it says that it does. I forgot
Oh.
the Justice League
Is it
Justice League issue that it is.
200 or something? Or was it?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it
I
is
do
200.
have this
That
written
rings a
down.
bell.
Because there's a slight crossover element, and I did have it written down, but I can't. It's not to hand.
It's okay. No,
I'm
I think
sorry,
you're right. It
I've
is
let you
200.
down.
No. Yeah, you let me down. You know what? Forget the reading orders about Dave. We're going to mapping. I need a mapper.
I fucking quit.
Cartographer.
Yeah, I'm a comics cartographer. Yeah, that's.
This is, I think, 36 issues, if memory serves. The third volume goes to issue 36. Make it an omnibus. It's Batman. It's him leading his own team off the beaten path a little bit. Cool new characters. There's a certain cheese element to it, which is part of its charm, but it's also pretty cool stories.
Yeah.
Cool creative team. Great artwork. It has some crossover elements with the Teen Titans, and
Yes, you're right.
I'm not sure if there's any Justice League crossovers later on, but
Can't remember.
easy
think so.
compendium, easy omnibus, and I think a lot of people would buy this omnibus. Just Batman completists would want it.
Definitely. Yeah, and Alan
So
Davis completus.
there you go. And I mean, Jim Aparo, as far as Batman artists go, he's up there with some of the best. So you're gonna get quality. Yeah, check it out. It's an international Batman team too. That's the cool thing about it. Like
Oh yeah.
they're not just stateside.
No. You get Katana
Yeah,
Geoforce, though I thought that was one of the worst names for any character.
a little bit, but you also get that crossover element
Gross.
with Terra, right? Because Geoforce is her older brother.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right.
So there's a cool little Teen Titan Batman and the Outsider crossover. Let's do it. Let's make it. They're
Let's
gonna
do
make
it.
it.
Do you know, that's been on my
Put it
list
out
for the
there.
past 2 years. This would have been year 3. This is year 3, and I didn't mention it.
Oh
I
wow.
went with
Did you mention it?
Vigilante instead.
Okay, but we haven't mentioned this before, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
was okay. Good. So I
Okay.
think you just have one repeat with the Aquaman. You're number 5.
Right, my number 5 is a tricky one because it was released by DC Vertigo. So this is the 2000s
Okay.
choice. It's kind of available. What do you call it when it's public? Oh, public domain. It's public domain now, I think. So I don't know how the hell this would work. But it was originally DC Vertigo. It's Fables. I mean, the list of stuff that could be included in this is massive. So they've done a compendium set, which was a box set, and then
Yes.
they launched the series again after that for a bit. And then Bill Willingham had his whole issues with DC, and then he basically went, "Screw everyone! I'm going to make it available to all. So do what you want. If anyone wants to do new stories with the characters, just do it." But I don't know how that works for the old stories. I don't know enough about it. But if they did a series of omnis that did it all in order, that would be pretty amazing. You know, to have all those, because you get loads of Untold Tales and spin-off series and excuse me, and so on and so forth. Because you have got, I'm going to list them all, right? I think. So you've got Fables 1 to 162, 1001 Nights of Snowfall, The Last Castle, Werewolves of the Heartland, Cinderella from Fabletown with Love miniseries, Cinderella Fables Are Forever miniseries, Ever After from the page of Fables 1 to 12, Fairest 1 to 33, Jack of Fables 1 to 50, The Literals 1 to 3, The Wolf Among Us 1 to 16, Batman and Big B A Wolf in Gotham 1 to 6, which would mean it would pretty much have to be done by DC unless someone else was right to pick that up. You've also got the prose novel Peter and Max, but I mean, you get lots of other little prose stories within Fables, so in theory they could include that as well. Why not? But yeah, I'm not asking for much, just all that in chronological order, please. I was actually planning on doing a Fables reading order, obviously, but the Fables books were a gift to my now ex, and she's got them, so I'm not going to say anything else that might incriminate me. No opinions here. Jack of Fables. Sorry, Meat Trunks just said.
We're gonna.
Sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Meat Trunks. Go ahead. Talk to us.
He said something else as well. I'm not going to read out. So Meat Trunks just said, "Is Jack of Fables any good?" No, it's not great. However, there is a character called Babe the Blue Ox who is Paul Bunyan's ox, and those pages are the best. They're so good. He does these little pages where he imagines other stuff he'd like to do or stories he'd like to tell, and they're so good. The rest of the series is a bit odd, but are the spin-offs any good? Some are, but the main series is really what it's about. Let's face it. Some of those one-shots are really nice. Like the 1001 Nights of Snowfall is a lovely book. It's really nice. But I mean, the Wolf Among Us takes place before Fables itself, which was based on the game, the Telltale game, which was like a phone-based one, basically. And you could play that, and it kind of explained who a lot of the characters were, so it could kind of get you into reading the comics. But yeah, that's set before. So some of it's good. Apparently, Batman versus Big B is terrible. So I hear. But hey, I mean, what's good is always subjective anyway, so the main series, though, is fantastic, and it's well worth a read. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't gotten around to reading it all, but what I've read, highly recommend. It's a safe bet. Good bet for your money.
Great art from Mark Buckingham as well. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
For that book.
It's and you get your money's worth as far as how long it takes you to read. Like you don't fly through it. It's you enjoy these stories. Yeah, that's the way I would put it.
Cool.
Okay, my number 5. I didn't make a Dave style reading order, but I put together the issues that it would
Ooh,
include.
let's hear it, man.
So, since this is the season of Superman, this is my Superman omnibus. Had to make one. What is it we don't have? We don't have the return from exile era of Superman that takes place just before the triangle stuff. And there's some really key important issues here that we got to collect and put them in an omnibus. Has to be an omnibus now since we've got exile in omnibus. This would be a perfect in between filler
Yeah,
to get to the
triangle.
triangle era. I'm not sure why they haven't done John Byrne. That's a topic for another day.
I do have
But
apparently what they did was when they scanned the pages, they did them too small.
idiots. Anyways, we need John Byrne as well, Omnis. So this collects Action Comics 644 to 658, Adventures of Superman 458 to 471, and Superman issues 34 to 48.
Which annuals are in there?
There is no Man of Steel.
I'm just being a dick.
No, I didn't check that part. I would think
and
it's
there's some mini series in there as well, and some crossovers that might.
probably nothing too crazy. I actually like flipped through the issues that would be there, and I'm like, okay, I kind of remember this stuff, but the annuals would probably be annuals 3 and 4 during that time. Guessing.
Might well be. I don't know. I was literally taking the piss.
Yeah, I think
I was taking the
that's
piss
where
out
they
of
were
myself for
because,
being so anal.
but it's a good question because, and this could be an episode topic which we've discussed in the past. In the 1980s, annuals were actually good.
Yeah, they were.
You wanted to read them.
Yeah.
They were excellent a lot of times. And during this era, some of those Superman annuals were pretty good. I'm not saying all of them were excellent, but the first two that Byrne had written the first one, Roger Stern and Ron Frenz did the second one, as we talked about on our last episode with Ron Frenz. Those were a lot of fun and great creative teams. Like you weren't getting nowadays it kind of feels like you're getting tryout. Let's see how you do. This is a tryout. Let's test you out.
Yeah, that was very much
and it
how
kind
it
of
went.
feels like that sometimes.
Yeah. It's funny though, because
Not in
sometimes
the
you do
80s.
when you dip back in some of those old annuals. I know it's true for the Marvel ones, especially, but you dip back and you go, "Oh my god, this is so trial." I found like Brandon. Oh god, I've forgotten his name. He becomes a fairly well-renowned artist.
Brandon Choi?
No. Oh, ball bags. Great example, David. But yeah, you can see all these names that are now famous. And that is literally what they were using it for, is like tryout stuff. Or it might be the backup feature in the annual. Like, come on. Like, you're making us pay for your test run here.
Your test run, yeah. But
Peterson,
when
yes.
we were
Brandon
doing our
Peterson. Thank you, Scrubs.
Oh, nice. Good call. BC Scrubs for the save. When we were doing our Spider-Man in the 80s, I read some annuals and I'm like, there's some good key stuff in these books.
Oh,
like
yeah.
these are not just
Well, they made it an event. The annual was like not an event, not like a crossover, though they became crossover events. But yeah, like the wedding, and I mean,
you couldn't. But J. Jonah Jameson's wedding too. Like these
true.
are important events. You know, the first appearance of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, was in an Amazing Spider-Man issue. And
Ace,
it was a good
the
story.
guy who looks like Prince, like as if he was the son of Michael Jackson and Prince. Not such a good one. Ignore that one.
I don't remember that one. But yeah, the Return from Exile. I think that's what the title should be. Those are the issues that would be included in it. You already have a purchaser here. It's coming out, guys. I have an insider scoop. I feel it. We're gonna do it.
It's gonna have to happen because we need that gap filled. And you know, I do personally like to have my gaps filled.
What the heck is a gap for if not to be filled?
Exactly.
So, did you have some bonus picks that we can save for next time?
No, yes, I've got a whole laundry list. I was just
Okay,
trying not
okay.
to be too pretentious and wanky, but yeah. I was really going like, oh, come on, you knob. Do you really want that? Yeah. But maybe next time. How about you? Have you got spares?
I have spares, but I think this time around, some of my spares are things that I've mentioned before.
Yeah.
So I'll let more time go by if it hasn't been
Well,
reprinted, and I think they will be.
also, if you wonder what we have mentioned before, jump back in time on our previous episodes list and see what we've chosen before. And some of it is stuff that you'll see that is now real. It's become manifest. So
A
yeah,
lot of it
a
has.
lot of it has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I've ticked through
Dr.
Superman,
Fate and
Warworld, Justice League, Dark, Wonder
Warworld,
Woman, Stormwatch, Warlord, Action Comics Rebirth,
Warlord.
Spectre by Ostrander, Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns,
Yeah,
Wonder Woman by Rucker. They're all a thing
yeah.
now, but there's still a
They're all
lot down there
they're
that
all a thing.
hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
So go back and have a
I'm
look at
really
what they
surprised.
are.
Warlord.
Yeah, Warlord's a big
Yeah,
shock. Yeah.
do it.
Where's
So
Warlord?
if they did Warlord, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Power of Shazam. Let's go.
Let's do it.
That'll be a compendium.
Yeah,
It'll be.
blatantly.
Everybody who's been with us during this episode, we appreciate it. Hanging out with us on the live, commenting, giving us a little bit of your input, as well as the things that we get wrong. You correct us, keep us honest. We appreciate that. Couldn't do it without you. Those watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, visit us at omniversecomics.guide for all the reading orders that Dave puts together with a labor of love, all our creator interviews, and collector item specials. It's all there. Check it out. It's a great website. Dave,
Hello. Oh, I mean,
always a
bye-bye.
pleasure, my friend. I missed you.
Oh, likewise, dude. We'll have an after-show
Yeah,
hug in a minute. Somehow.
yes, that's right. Somehow. Everybody's been with us. We appreciate you, of course. Be back next week. We got more podcasts for you. And check out that Ron Friends interview. It's
Oh,
pretty
yes.
cool. Pretty
It
good
is
one.
very cool.
Check that out. Yeah. A lot of insider info. Bye, everybody.
Toodles, doodles.